Inside the Golf Performance Lab with this week's TU Athlete of the Week, Nicole Jung, as she and the Taylor Trojans are off to another hot start here in the fall of 2021. Nicole, you elected to take your extra year of eligibility. I was very casually standing at the table here in front of the lockers inside the golf lab. What led to that decision to come back for a fifth year?
I think it goes farther than just playing another year for Taylor. I think it goes, the decision that went into it, it was what I'm going to do in the future as well, which is trying to play golf for a living, hopefully. So yeah, it gives me another year of practice and just another year here at Taylor too.
Well, it's not bad when you have a facility like this to come and practice in on these chilly days like we have today, right?
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about what it's been like getting to know your new teammates. It's kind of the elder stateswoman of the group, with a lot of 18-year-olds coming in here as a big freshman class to join the Taylor women's golf program.
Yeah, a lot of coaches have made fun of me coming back. They'll be like, "Oh, you are the old lady, married lady, whatever." But yeah, no, it's been good. It's been different from what I'm used to. I was the youngest in my previous years. Now being the oldest, it's a different role, and still learning how to do it.
Well, you mentioned your marriage. We're going to get to that in a moment. There's a very cool element from her marriage this summer that we're going to get to at the end of this. But another year and another great start, as I mentioned. You guys have played in 5 tournaments. The team has won 3 of them. You finished in at least second place in 4 out of those 5. What's led to the consistency of you and the program with all these new faces?
I think what I remember the most is Coach telling us, like, it's going to be a grind. We got to push through, and I think that's what we have done so far. When times have been hard in the golf course, I think everyone just pushes forward and just focuses on the next shot, which has ended up being really good for us eventually.
Well, a big moment for you a couple weeks ago at the Ball State tournament. You finished tied for first at the end of the event, so you have to go to a playoff for medalist honors. Big tournament, a lot of D1 players there. What was it like, and take me through a teeing off in the playoff?
Yeah, it was different. I really wish I would have won that tournament, but I had to go through a playoff, and yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking. But once I teed off, I was like, let's go get this, basically.
How much of a help do you think that would be if you fast forward a couple of months to the national championship, and we saw Alec Dudkowski have to get into a playoff a couple of years ago? How can that help you if that would play out again here in a couple of months on the big stage?
I think it's more of a preparation, seeing it as something that someone has to get used to be able to go through that, what Alec did in the national championship, because it is a different level. So I think it was a great practice, and hopefully we have that occasion in a few next months.
Or, you know, you could just win the whole thing right out. We don't have to put you that nerve-wracking thing. Let's just win the whole thing out, right?
Yeah, that'll be better.
Well, I mentioned it a few moments ago, and you could probably see the ring glistening here throughout the interview in the lights. You got married this summer to former golfer Mitch Lamping, who was above average during his time here. He was an All-American. He was pretty good. But there was an interesting element after the ceremony at the golf course, which is fitting, where you guys got married. You decided both of you took a tee shot in your wedding attire. Where did that idea come from?
I still remember, we were still talking to our wedding lady at the venue, and Mitchell from the back, like sitting back, he was like, why don't we do this? Like, just rip a tee shot on 10 tee box or something like that. And we were like, I was like kind of skeptical at the moment, but then the lady was like, oh my gosh, that's such a clever idea. Like, I've never had that done before. We can definitely do that for you guys if you want. And we were like, okay, cool. So yeah, that's how it came up.
You're in a lovely dress, but you don't tee off in wedding dresses normally. So is that the most difficult tee shot you've ever had to do?
I think so. I had a big necklace coming the back of my dress, so it was hard, but granted, it didn't go that far. So.
But you still outdrove Mitch, right?
I wish I could say that.
That's okay. Well, you definitely looked better teeing off than he did. So congrats on a great fall so far. Best of luck with one more tournament, and we can't wait to see what you and the ladies do this spring.
Thank you.
All right, that's Nicole Jung. She's going to get to work here in the lab. I'm going to get out of the way so she can get to practice. For more information on Taylor Women's Golf, just log on to TaylorTrojans.com.